What if Washington never had to change the clocks again? This week, Congress got one step closer to making daylight saving time permanent. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the bipartisan Sunshine Protection Act, and now it goes to the Senate, and it seems likely President Trump would sign it into law. Washington has already approved permanent daylight saving time, so if federal laws change, then we'd get the green light for the state to stay on the same time year-round, and we'd stop changing the clocks every spring and fall. What are the pros and cons? The biggest benefit would be more daylight in the evening during the winter, and if you dread those 4 p.m. sunsets, then that sounds pretty good, right? Obviously a lot less confusing as well than remembering to switch our clocks. But it's not a clear-cut answer because we're so far north, some winter sunrises in Seattle wouldn't happen until nearly 9 a.m., meaning darker mornings for commuters and kids going to school. Some scientists say standard time is actually better for our circadian rhythms and our overall health. And airlines have also warned that the adjustment could take several years. But let me know in the comments, what do you prefer?
Here we go.
All right.
There we go. You ready?
I am ready.
You're not nervous, right?
No, not at all, Jake.
I'm glad you trust me.
That's funny. Okay.
Years ago, I started to get these messages from someone. They were these really inspirational quotes, one after another. All of them were signed by Sean Marinko. So I said, it's time. I got to meet this guy. And it turns out Sean was born with cerebral palsy. He has a wife and a family, graduated from law school at Gonzaga. He's still practicing law today, even litigated a big case in Washington state that helped people with a physical disability just like him. Over the years, we grew a friendship, and Sean has been an inspiration and a light for many. So this year, in July, during Disability Pride Month, Sean told me he had a message for the world. Tell me about the word disabled.
I think some of us are reclaiming that we are disabled.
Reclaiming it.
Reclaiming, right? Exactly. Society has traditionally looked at disabled or disability as something that was negative, something that was to be pitied. And actually, the truth is, it's a part of our identity that should be celebrated. I went to public school. That was a little bit of a challenge because back then, folks with disabilities were automatically put into special education classrooms, and we were segregated.
Disability Pride Month. What does that mean to you?
I think it's an opportunity to really celebrate what it means to have a disability, whether you have a physical disability, a mental disability, a disability that nobody sees. People ask me these questions quite a bit about, don't you wish you could play baseball? Or don't you wish you could drive a car? I want folks to understand that it's a darn good thing I'm not driving a car. I can barely drive my wheelchair. We all do things that are funny, and so I don't see my experience as any different than that. I'm very understanding about the privilege that I have.
The privilege that you have, that's what you call it, that's amazing.
It's amazing, Jake, but what I hope someday is that folks will not be in awe of it. They'll just say there's another person in a wheelchair out with his kids, at the grocery store. And that's when I will know. That's when I will know that we have been fully integrated into society.
Keep inspiring everybody, okay?
I'll do my best.
All right, buddy.
Keep going.
All right.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, thanks for being a good friend.
Yep.
When they printed that T-shirt out that had Sam Darnold smoking a cigar, holding the Super Bowl trophy, and giving the bird, I went out and bought one immediately. I haven't worn it yet because it's a house, or one you want to kind of wear around the house. You don't want to wear that out in public.
You want to wear that on the show tonight?
No, I wish I could, man. I love that shirt.
We'll put a little box over it. So
blur the finger.
You know what I would do? I wished I could do last year. I wanted to grow some red hair. Like if I could grow hair, I would grow red hair and have the beard and fully support Sam. You know what I'm saying?
You have so much I want to call it hair envy. I want to say hair respect for guys here in Seattle. Between Bryce Miller, Brady Russell, you were just commenting on the other day, and then now Sam Darnold. I mean, I don't think it's hair envy though, because I think it's for hair respect.
It fully is. You have to think about where we live, and it's Seattle, right? We have some guys with really good hair here. I don't know what it is. It's something in the air, something in the water, the Pacific Northwest environment.
I mean, look at that silver fox over there.
Listen, we had Brady Russell on earlier this week. You talk about flow.
I played softball with him this weekend, and I touched his hair.
I know. I looked at him immediately, and I said, Terry, I think you've got a new hair crush.
Speaking of hair, look at hers.
All right.
I mean,
Geez, what is this, G.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yesterday we visited. I got to put the show back on the rails.
No. Yesterday. Yeah, no, we're just going to go off.
I wouldn't be both a scientist and a Hillary Duff fan if I didn't point out the fact that I'm pretty sure Hillary Duff just caused the storms in the Pacific Northwest. I do feel extremely qualified to discuss this topic as both a meteorologist and a lifelong Hillary Duff fan. At this point, I've spent a lot of time, in fact, some might say too much time, over analyzing the statistics here, and it's not clear if there's causation or if it's just correlation. But what I can tell you is that Wednesday evening, Hillary Duff came to Washington and sang the words, "Let the rain fall down and wake my dreams. Let it wash away my sanity. Yeah, I want to feel the thunder. I want to scream, let the rain fall down," and so on. Now, we had not had any measurable rain in the entire month of July at SeaTac. So what happened is she sang these words, and then within 24 hours, this was the scene across Western Washington. In fact, more than 8,000 lightning strikes were reported in both Washington and Oregon in a 24-hour span, immediately following her singing those words. Now, this may be the first documented case of a human controlling the weather, but honestly, if anyone can do it, it's Lizzie McGuire.
Obviously coming off, a first half that, probably would have liked to have gone a little bit better, but at the same time, everything's right in front of us, and that's our focus here as we come out of the break, is looking ahead at what's ahead and feeling very optimistic about, where our guys are at and getting healthier each day and ready to roll. So lots ahead of us, lots of, good baseball ahead of us. Good to be back home here after the break. This has been a very friendly place for us to play and we want to certainly take advantage of that and get off on the right foot here in the second half.
Come on, man. It's night and day. It is night and day, man. It's probably 2.5 times bigger than the one we had. It's so gaudy. It's beautiful though. It's beautiful. I mean, the rings just over time have, just gone crazy. Mine I can actually wear maybe from time to time. That ring though, those guys can't wear that. That's just a big piece of jewelry that you just got to keep on the mantle somewhere. But it's definitely night and day. It's beautiful. It's awesome. The guys deserve it. And that's the era we're in right now. These rings just continue to keep getting bigger and bigger. I want to say they said it's the biggest Super Bowl ring ever.
Lonnie talks to his golf balls, develops a relationship with them. Birdie! I too am an athlete.
Okay.
I play pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering if you might be able to help me.
Yes.
Figure out how to tell this guy, I'll give you one, how not to go into the net every time I hit him.
You've got to focus, okay? You've got to not go in the net. You also have to stay out of the kitchen. Pickleball reference, yeah. I play some myself. If you don't behave, you're out. We're going to go to that guy.
The greatest this game has ever seen.
That's how it's done.
They call him the...
What was your first reaction to hearing the theme song?
It's a perfect theme song. They call him the Hawk. He's a golfer, the greatest golfer in the world. Simple, concise, a rock anthem. Lets you know exactly what type of show this is.
Hey, did you miss me, everybody? What do you say today we make some fucking noise?
You've got the crowd yelling balls deep at a golf tournament on a show that is sponsored by the PGA Tour. Right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how proud are you of that?
That, when you put it that way, very proud. Proudest moment in my In my career, probably.
That's how it's done.
They call him the Hawk. He's a golfer, the greatest golfer in the world.
It is a powerful sight to be seen. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is rolling its Steel Across America tour into Seattle today as a part of the lead up to the 25th anniversary of 9/11. The foundation was created in memory of Stephen Siller, an FDNY firefighter who was off duty on September 11, 2001. When he learned about the attacks, he strapped on his gear and he actually ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to the World Trade Center because his truck got stuck in traffic. He did die while helping others. These fine folks are ensuring that we keep his and many other memories alive. And today the organization is well known for community support like building homes and paying off mortgages for families of fallen first responders and military members. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation will even display a massive piece of steel from the World Trade Center at these stops. So slow down and give them a salute. Say hello when you see the Tunnel to Towers Foundation supporting America's heroes and their families in your community.
Obviously coming off, a first half that, probably would have liked to have gone a little bit better, but at the same time, everything's right in front of us, and that's our focus here as we come out of the break, is looking ahead at what's ahead and feeling very optimistic about, where our guys are at and getting healthier each day and ready to roll. So lots ahead of us, lots of, good baseball ahead of us. Good to be back home here after the break. This has been a very friendly place for us to play, and we want to certainly take advantage of that and get off on the right foot here at the second half.
You've seen Jimothy, but who saw Jimothy? Kiara Hall pulled out her phone to take a video of a cat coming out from under a car one night. That cat turned out to be a raccoon with a congenital spine condition. We met Kiara while talking to a mural artist who painted Jimothy behind Ballard Clay Ceramic Studio, fittingly tucked behind trash cans. Kiara was just out for a walk when they crossed paths. She says she never would have guessed Jimothy would join the ranks of orcas and herons and be seen by people across the world. Now she hopes everybody gives him space. Wildlife experts urge people to avoid approaching and feeding Jimothy. Now people are even getting tattoos of him. This is that electric kitten. While the city of Seattle will celebrate him with a proclamation and art competition at Bergen Place Park during the Ballard Farmers Market Sunday, July 26th at noon.
2 men from the Seattle area will now spend 6 years in prison for crimes tied to a homeless encampment in Thurston County called The Jungle. It's located near I-5 and Pacific Avenue in Olympia. Investigators say they seized pounds of meth and cocaine and that the men illegally possessed a variety of guns they used to protect their drug business.
How much did this ultimately cost you?
I think somewhere around $100,000, $170,000.
It was about $38,000.
$21,700.
The most I've seen so far, which is in Tukwila, was $500,000. A ring of gentlemen, they're going up to houses in the community and offering services for either roof repairs or a full redo of a roof.
Would you say this is a crime ring?
I would say that this is probably a crime ring.
Using a rotating list of business names, some completely fake, others impersonating legitimate companies, Detective White says these men leave a trail that's constantly shifting. Their personal names even change too.
Yeah, Brian was his name.
His name was Tony.
Do you want me to talk to you about the price before I...
But one thing stays the same, a detail connecting every case.
He has a very strong, I think, his Irish accent.
Oh yeah, very much an Irish accent.
Oh, he had an Irish accent.
If you got like a certified, I'll be able to change it faster, so I'll be able to keep moving this project.
This accent is one thing investigators believe is actually real.
A lot of the suspects are here on fraudulent passports or overstayed visas, so we don't necessarily have the means to identify and locate them.
We've been talking a lot about significant building fires, including home and apartment fires throughout the city of Seattle and King County. The American Red Cross has been responding to a lot of them, and as I was covering one of those stories, I came across a volunteer of about 5 years who has a very personal reason for why he gives his time and energy to the organization.
My home state is Louisiana. Growing up, I went through numerous hurricanes, and Red Cross was there. And I certainly remember that. I've gone through a work life. I'm now retired and, wanting to keep myself occupied and doing something rather meaningful. Red Cross offers that. It is it's a tremendous platform for people who want to, do something for others, want to do service for others.
That's Brian Zeringer. He's a caseworker on a Fremont fire that's displaced up to 20 people.
Meet Monica Trujillo, one of the Seattle 2026 FIFA World Cup volunteers. She's showing off the threads that she wore for this year's World Cup. She was inside the stadium for all 6 matches. From head to toe, she and all the volunteers were looking sharp. They even had these special bags, and you got to check out the keychain on there. It's like Monica's already won the World Cup. She shared with us on King 5 Weekend Morning some of her favorite moments about being a volunteer, and here's another thing she's looking forward to.
So now that the World Cup is over in Seattle, we have started trading patches with other cities, other host cities. There's a total of 16 host cities. And so my goal is to get all 16 host cities. And so far I have these ones right here. And it's just meeting other volunteers, from all the other cities that were volunteers as well. So that's gonna be a fun thing to do.
Jail-issued tablets being broken repeatedly by inmates in Seattle to make shivs or homemade knives. In one case, an inmate used one and tried to stab an officer. That's all according to the King County Corrections Guild, which represents about 500 workers at the downtown Seattle jail, as well as the facility in Kent.
Never seen this many weapons in the facility in my career. And it's somebody's going to get hurt, they're going to get killed.
So that was the president of the union, who himself is a corrections officer, has been for almost 30 years. His son has the same job for the last 2 years at the Seattle facility. You think that weighs on a father?
Am I going to get that call that my kid was stabbed? I don't think any parent wants to get a call like that.
All the union president is asking for is for jail administrators to take this seriously, to punish those inmates who violate policy, which he says includes breaking tablets. He just says they shouldn't be getting new ones, and they are. The King County Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention has not responded to our request for comment, nor have they confirmed any information about these alleged incidents.
They built the outside of the chimney, but they never rebuilt the 2 inside stacks.
Because these workers are not trained masons or being overseen by a true contractor.
So you can still poke holes in that.
The work is often done poorly.
We tore all that stuff out.
You tore all of this down?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Ekram Shah is a legitimate mason who's fixed several homes after these crews left.
Yeah, it's just crap.
Including David's.
When you just look at this, though, immediately you're like, that's not done correctly?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could see that from across the street.
Shaw says the illegitimate operations work was so bad, using the fireplace could have been deadly.
If they lit a fire in this is real bad news.
Yeah, it could turn into something real bad.
By the time homeowners find these issues, the checks have cleared.
By then, these guys are gone.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty scary. I mean, I know in the video it looks like it's far away, but it's not.
He woke me up and said, I think we need to go. And I walked outside and it was just...
It was apocalyptic.
It was the densest smoke and falling ash that I had ever seen.
Toby Campbell and his wife, Chrissy, of Schlitz Family Vacations...
I hope that wasn't that house that I was showing earlier.
...are documenting their cross-country road trip from Alabama.
And it was just, it was...
gut-wrenching.
Yeah, gut-wrenching. You were in awe.
They were camping in Okanagan County when storms sparked a wildfire.
Please keep everyone in this area in your prayers. We need it. We got some major fires going on.
The Kaiser Canyon fire on the Coville Reservation has spread to nearly 38,000 acres. About 1,000 people in nearby Nispelum have evacuated.
A major food supplier is voluntarily removing all iceberg lettuce from restaurants and grocery store shelves. Taylor Farms says the company is voluntarily removing all its iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico from the U.S. market. The decision comes after the government says more than 1,644 people in 29 states were infected with Cyclospora, a food-borne parasite causing severe intestinal illness. They are not the only ones working to make sure people feel safe. Taco Bell also released a statement saying they are removing all of that lettuce from its supply chain nationwide. But with cases spread out across the country, experts tell NBC News iceberg lettuce may not be the only problem.
Is it likely it could even be just one type of produce?
Given that we have multiple outbreaks going on, at least according to the FDA, we just don't know at this point.
And Taylor Farms also says their salad kits are not part of the issue. They affirmed in a statement on social media that their salad kits are safe and they do not contain any of the affected iceberg lettuce. 33 cases of cyclosporiasis have been reported in Washington. The State Department of Health says that goes back to May 1st. It says the slight increase is from recent years and most of the cases are linked to international travel.
He started as a raccoon, now he's a Seattle celebrity. Help me rank Jimothy's most iconic moments. Number 1, the original Jimothy video that started it all. Number 2, Dr. Jimothy after graduating from the University of Washington. 3, Jimothy getting the Mariners treatment on the Jumbotron at T-Mobile Park. Number 4, Jimothy joining WashDOT's campaign with one important message: trash belongs in the trash can. 5, Jimothy meeting another Seattle legend, a husky. And finally, number 6, Jimothy repping the Sonics. I'll accept all of the above, but I want to know your pick. Which Jimothy moment deserves the number 1 spot?